All right. Hello. I hope everyone is doing well. And welcome to question 18 of the AAMC preview practice test review. And let's jump right into the scenario. All right. You receive a low grade on your first major assignment in your biochemistry course. You ask the instructor for feedback. They tell you that your submission did not use the formatting style specified in the syllabus. You realize you were so busy that you forgot to read through the syllabus for this course. All right, so immediately when I read this question, right, it brings me back to some other questions we have, and we recently just did another question similarly where we made a mistake, right? And this mistake that we made in this question was we were too busy, forgot to read the syllabus, that resulted in a bad grade. So let's summarize that real quick, right? Let's put that into a main problem, right? You've been so busy, mess up the assignment, got a low grade. So if you remember back to other questions we did where we made a mistake, what did we learn? Well, we learned it was important to have a growth mindset, right? To not blame the professor, rather, realize why you made the mistake, understand why you made the mistake. In this case, is because we're too busy, right? And it's critical to really frame that correctly, because if you frame it as though your instructor is being unreasonable, or you frame it though the issue is you got a bad grade, that's going to get you into answering these questions and rating these scenarios and responses incorrectly, right? The issue is that we were so busy that we're being overwhelmed, right? And we can't keep up with the demands of our courses. That really is the issue, and framing that is really important. So let's just, with that in mind, that's our main problem. Let's jump into 18.1. 18.1, tell the instructor that you will pay better attention to the syllabus from now on. All right, let's go back to, how we make our initial differentiation. And this first one is not as relevant, right? So let's start with the second one. Are you taking steps to resolve or address the main problem? Remember, the main problem is that we were really busy to lead to our first major assignment getting a low grade. Are we addressing that? Well, we are somewhat, right? We make a mistake, we got to acknowledge it, right? That's really, really important that we've seen over and over again for these types of questions. And we are doing that, right? We're acknowledging that we made a mistake. And we are kind of embodying that responsibility that, hey, it's on us, right? From now on. Another thing I would jump back to is the second question here, or sorry, this third question. How likely is this response to cause a problem or make the situation worse? Well, this is not likely to make the situation worse, right? We're only taking responsibility for what we did. I'm going to put this into a 3 or a 4 for that reason. All right. How do we differentiate between a 3 and a 4? Definitely feel free to read through these, but two things I want to emphasize. Some good things we are doing, right? We're embodying a growth mindset, and we're helping prevent similar problems from occurring in the future. But remember, these questions right here, all these should be evaluated in the context of our scenario. And the problem in our scenario is that we're too busy, right? And that's really the main issue here. So I want you to look at this question. Are you addressing the root cause of the problem? And that's really to dial in onto and give more strength to this question. Are we offering a solution to the main problem? These two questions combined are really important. And they kind of reveal to us here is that, hey, we're not really addressing the main problem, right? We're not really addressing the main problem. We're just saying that we'll pay better attention to the syllabus from now on. And we're not addressing the root cause, which is that we've been so busy and overwhelmed. Now, I'm going to say that makes this a 3 response. Now, why does that make this a 3 response? And we actually, went over this in our previous video, right? And on 17, but we can go over it again really quick. Let me make this. All right. We can go over it really quick, right? But the difference between a 3 and a 4 is the probability and to what degree you improve the situation, right? That's the difference between a 3 and a 4. And if we're not addressing the main problem, if we're not addressing the root cause, that's going to make us less likely to improve the situation and remedy the main problem. Therefore, this is going to be a 3 response. All right. Question 18. Explain to the instructor that you should not be punished for being overwhelmed with coursework. All right, let's ask, are we addressing the main problem, right? Are we taking steps to address or resolve that main problem? Remember, that's the question we're using for our initial differentiation here, at least starting to use. Are we addressing the main problem? Are we addressing the problem that we've been so busy that, we made a mistake? We're not addressing this problem at all, right? We're not addressing the problem in any way. So this is going to be a 1 or a 2. More importantly, and maybe not more importantly, but definitely importantly, we're not acknowledging that we made a mistake, right? And remember, if we go back to how do we differentiate between a 1 and a 2, if you made a mistake, to what degree are you taking accountability for your mistake? We added that question in because the AAMC sees it as a very clear and of very distinct, important thing to focus on in scenarios where you did mess up, to own up to that, right? To own up to that mistake, take accountability, and do not blame others. Here, more or less, we're blaming our professor for being unreasonable, right? Where in reality, we were overwhelmed, right? This is going to be a 1 response. Are there any over consequences? Definitely, right? We're being unprofessional and we are putting the blame and responsibility on our instructor for this. This is going to be, and that's going to hurt our relationship. It's just an unprofessional response. It's going to be a very ineffective response. All right. 18.3, offer to submit another version of the assignment that is consistent with the core syllabus requirements. All right, remember, this is why it's so important, I guess let's jump back. Are we addressing the main problem, right? Are we addressing the problem here that, we've been so busy that we messed up the first major assignment and got a low grade? Are we addressing that problem? It's kind of hard to tell, right? I think we are in some ways, right? We are trying to correct our assignment and trying to get a better grade. That's a good thing. Another thing I will say that is very useful here is this third question, right? How likely is this response to cause a problem or make the situation worse? And to this, there aren't really any downsides, right, of doing this. We're just offering to submit another version, right? This is just, we're asking, so it's not very unprofessional. Because of the fact that, we are addressing to some extent that we messed up, and for sure we're taking accountability, right? We are acknowledging that we messed up, so that's for sure. Alongside that, there are no major downsides to offering, and asking this of our professor. And in the same vein, we are really trying to make our grade better. Although I'd like to see us addressing that main problem of being too busy, this is still, good enough for a 3 to 4, to put this into our initial differentiation. It's not going to cause any problems. It's pretty good, it's trying to help our grade out, and it's being professional, and we're acknowledging our mistake, differentiating between a 3 and a 4. Let's be consistent, right? Let's use the same questions and let's ask the same questions we did to differentiate 18.1. where we were also looking at 3 and a 4. And, unsurprisingly, we're going to get the same answer, right? Although we are acknowledging we made we made a mistake, and we are embodying that responsibility, we're not really addressing the main thrust, the root cause. We're not offering a solution to the main problem, which is that we are so busy. That's what got us into this mess in the first place. And without addressing that, we're not going to have as likely of a chance to improve the situation and address the main problem. This is also going to be a 3 for a very similar reason to 18.1. All right. Last question here, 18.4. Ask the instructor how using the correct formatting style contributes to the quality of the assignment. Yeah, fair, in some ways fair. But let's put ourselves in the shoes, not in the shoes of a student, right? Even though we are students in this test. Let's think about the AAMC, right? What do they want? Well, they want us to address the main problem, right? Are we addressing the main problem of the fact that we've been so busy and the fact that we got a low grade? We're not addressing that at all, right? This is actually reminiscent of 18.2, the second question in this scenario, where we aren't taking responsibility for making this mistake. We're not acknowledging that we made a mistake at all. In fact, kind of similarly, we're being disrespectful here, right? We're questioning the professor and definitely being a bit hostile, a bit confrontational. That's not going to be professional in the eyes of the AAMC. And this is also going to be a one response, right? We can go through the differentiations, right? We can do that also. We're not offering a solution to the main problem, right? Over consequences, talking to your professor in that manner, being questioning and disrespectful, there might be some consequences for sure, right? And it's definitely unprofessional. So consequences there. It's dismissive and rude. We're precluding further discussion. Definitely, it's when we approach any conversation with that kind of mentality, it's gonna harm the option for discussing further. And yeah, also this last one is really, really key, right? To what degree are you taking accountability for your mistake? And we're not doing that in the slightest here. We're putting the blame on the professor. All right. And that wraps up question 18. All right, so that's it. Yeah, hope you guys are well. Definitely like and comment and subscribe if you found this useful, and share. And I will see you all for question 19. All right, have a good day.